You say, Modo Amoizo, Andu no. You drink, you iron.
What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you back to more Let's Play Shadow of the Colossus Remake Edition. In the last episode, we took down Gaius, the Earth Knight, my archenemy. And in this episode, we're going after the fourth Colossus. Very interesting Colossus at that. One of the more peculiar fights in this game. There are certainly some fights that are more straightforward than others, and I am willing to wager a bet that this is one of those least straightforward fights. Now, real quick, before we go, I do want to point out one thing. So if I go to the map here, and yes, you can look and see what shrines you've saved at, or what Colossus you've fought, by changing the legend and things like that. If I press triangle, I can go to my items here, and I actually have a couple things unlocked. And I would just like to point that out. I do have the special edition of this game, so a couple things came pre-unlocked. But it also shows all the many ways that you can unlock these things, most of which are through time attack mode. However, I also have changed the appearance of aggro, so I can actually make him into a brown and white horse. Ancient Bow reveals Colossi sigils from range. Excuse me, I had to cut that out. So if I fire an arrow anywhere, it will make the sigil light up. This is actually useful because this allows you to unlock an achievement early rather than having to shine a light on it. And then the last one I have unlocked is the Cloak of Fate, which increases health regeneration rate. I am not going to equip that one because that gives me an actual tangible advantage, and that would be unfair. So we're going to go on ahead with our brown and white aggro. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I think he looks great. And we are going to keep that equipped for the rest of the game. Might as well. I think it looks great. I think it's a nice change of pace. But we want to head on into this slot canyon right up here. And this is going to lead us to our next encounter, which is, as I said, very unorthodox. And not one that a whole lot of people really know how to pull off that well. But I will be showing you how it's done in this episode. It's actually a pretty easy fight. So we head on through here. You can keep aggro at a gallop pretty easily. He will mostly do it on his own. And we are met with, well, a very odd sight. So I am actually going to take aggro through here. Usually my impatient self will tend to just jump down there and climb my way up with Wander, but that is because in the PS2 and PS3 version, aggro would only walk here. You could not get him to at least canter. But here he will, and that is wonderful, and I'm glad they fixed that. So it's kind of a catch-22 with the way aggro behaves in this game. In some parts, he's better than the originals. In other parts, he's not so much. So as we get over here, I just want to point this whole area out real quick. Just take note of this landscape, because this is incredibly important. So I do want to point this out. These four are connected, and what you can do is you can head on in here, and inside we are met with what is a little ruin, a little bit of an interesting ruin. Now we're going to want to keep aggro close because he is important to this fight, but at least briefly important to this fight. But I'm going to head on out here, and I'm going to grab my horse, and we're going to go, well, say hi to another horse. Now, if you hold down the call button with aggro, you can actually have the camera swing towards him so you can see where he's at, just in case you ever lose him. But let's head over this way. And as soon as we go around this bend, we're going to be greeted with an interesting sight. Now, you remember how I said that the fourth Colossus has a change in the sounds that it makes that I was kind of bummed out by? Well, if you don't know, in the PS2 and PS3 version, Phalanx actually didn't make a loud droning noise. Phalanx actually, and that's what her, sorry, not Phalanx, Phaedra, excuse me, that's her name. Phaedra, the horse, is she actually made some very high-pitched whining noises, which was very peculiar, and I'm going to shoot her once just to kind of upset her a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hurry and run over here and drop down in this hole. Yeah, she'd actually make some very high-pitched whining noises, which was very interesting. It added a lot of personality to her, but it also was honestly pretty sad whenever you were killing her. And I feel like that added a lot to her personality. But they have taken that out in this game, and instead she just makes these loud droning noises. But upon going down in there, as you can see, look where Phaedra's positioned at. And what she's doing is she's stomping around trying to look for me, trying to scope me out, but I'm not there. She has no clue where I'm at. I am, in fact, behind her, and she's going to bend down to get a closer look, and in doing so, is going to give me access to her buttocks. Don't take that the wrong way. If I can actually make this jump, that would be excellent. If I could actually make this jump, that would be excellent. I cannot make this jump. That is even more excellent. Wander, please. Oh my goodness, I am horrible. Okay. Bend down one more time for me, Phaedra. Wander, why can't you grab this, buddy? Holy cow. There we go. Goodness. Okay, that was the most embarrassing thing I've ever done in this game. There are actually multiple ways of climbing up her. If you use your horse, you can actually jump up on her back legs and get up that way. But even more interestingly, if I had actually stayed in that hole rather than coming around to the other side, I could actually jump up and grab her tassels that are hanging below her and climb up that way, although that is considerably more difficult and you need quite a bit of grip to make that climb without any difficulty. So I'm going to stab you in this region twice. Oh, poor baby. And in doing so, I'm literally breaking her neck. Oh, I feel really bad. This fight is definitely designed to make you feel awful. Now, in the hard mode version, she actually also has 2 sigils on her shoulder that you also have to go after, although they take very little damage before they're gone, so they're honestly not that difficult. Most of the work will be done on the head. So, aside from that embarrassing butt climb... Oh, hello. That was a buck. This fight is going to be relatively easy. So, with that, the deed is done. Now, as I said, again, Phaedra is a bit of an unorthodox fight. How are you ever supposed to know what to do there in all reality? It's very strange. Now, Dorman will give you hints if you ever do get stuck on something, and the hints he gives are, for the most part, work. But like I said, that is definitely a harder fight to decipher, and I don't begrudge anyone who has a lot of difficulty with it. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for this episode of Let's Play Shadow of the Colossus. I hope you all enjoyed it very, very much, and I will see you all in the next one.